don't really know where the world is gonna go. But now everybody knows that you can't stop for too long. Got to keep.
The first step in generating wealth is to pay yourself first.
But now everybody knows.
Stay tuned.
Stay protected.
Stay focused.
Stay connected.
There's a lot of different types of HELOC products that are now on the market, some of them geared towards velocity banking, and that's really good news.
This is probably the largest asset you will ever have in your life.
Right.
Here's some direction and some instruction on how to leverage this vehicle so that you can help yourself, help your family, accomplish your goals. We're not educated that way.
We use a strategy to pay off our home in 4 years.
Validation of your retirement account says what you thought was a retirement account is no longer one.
When I tell you, you're going to be shocked to learn. If you didn't come from a wealthy family,
You can make sure a wealthy family comes from you. So it starts with pay yourself first today,
Yeah, starting today.
right now. Put your money in somewhere secure. It's about the ability to not lose. I will take base hits all day long versus winning and losing. Somewhere secure, compound your money, and then you leverage OPM, other people's money, to exponentially grow it. That's how you generate wealth.
So whether you're joining us to crush debt or build wealth, time is the most valuable asset.
and we're so grateful that you're spending your time here with us.
Keep going.
Good evening. We come to you tonight to have a chat, just a casual chat, just need to talk about something. And it's been kind of a big topic in our entire household. And we want to see what you guys think. And we need to just unpack it a little bit. We're talking about obsession, just obsessions in general. Most importantly, what is it about things that we become obsessed with? And why aren't our goals
Obsessed.
available to be obsessions? Right. Yeah. Why is that? Why is it not the usual case? If we are so fixed on wanting to achieve something, how does it not become an obsession? It feels forced often, right? But an obsession feels different, completely different. So let's talk about it.
So we just ended 2025, and most of us kind of walked into the end of the year saying, hey, we need to get our vision boards done, right? We need to focus on what 2026 is going to look like.
Yep.
And this conversation around obsession kind of started around that. It's, if these goals are so important, why wouldn't they be an obsession? And what's preventing them from being an obsession, right? And who else might be feeling something similar?
Yeah. We realize that obsessions can form at any time. So sometimes they're unexpected. And if you're in the chat, if you're here with us, if you have any new obsessions, please share them with us. We are going to share our newest obsession with you here shortly. The point is, because we are experiencing an obsession together, it's a unique thing, right? We can talk about those things. We can really peel back the layers. We get to see each other's perspective from inside of this obsession and why it feels so good to experience together. That's not normal.
Right.
Normally, it's a paradox. It's only one partner who becomes obsessed with something, and then the other partner's just like, I don't get it, but that's your thing. I love that for you.
Right. And that's because normally we start this live sitting together. Normally we're sitting next to one another, aligned in what it is we're going to talk about today.
Right.
But in a lot of the conversations I've been having with spouses around velocity banking or HELOCs or life insurance or whatever the subject matter may be, there's usually a disconnect in, hey, I see the value in this, but man, it is a struggle getting my spouse on board. I sent her your video, or I sent him your video.
And she probably didn't care, or he didn't
Right.
care.
And,
Yeah.
and
Was
as though
annoying.
that's supposed to change the value around whether or not this is a need.
Right. One spouse is saying like, you got to watch this. And the other spouse is like, will you please stop sending me this stuff?
Right. Who is this dude?
Yeah. And also,
I mean, his wife is pretty and all, but
if you would like to just fast track to more disconnection, right? Further divide,
right,
keep sending me this stuff because I'm just not interested.
right,
And this could be an obsession with anything, but for for a lot of people, especially if you are not new to tuning in, you might be obsessed with your goals, right? You might be obsessed with learning velocity banking. You might be obsessed with leverage. You might be obsessed with working smarter, not harder, making your money work for you, those types of things. And those things might feel like an obsession to you and not to your partner. Now, that was our situation in the beginning. I was so annoyed with I love this for you. I love this for us. Love this for us. But please stop sending me stuff to watch because I don't want to learn. It is not the same for me. Okay. I don't want to. And it didn't feel like you were saying Pokemon cards, right? And I was going like, I'm not into it. It felt almost like I felt guilty for not wanting to be into it because you were so into it and it benefited both of us, right? So we were on completely opposite sides. If you've been here for a while, you know our story, you know that went down for a long time. And it was really difficult for me to get on board. But it wasn't until I saw proof, right? There was a thing that sucked me in, drew me in. And that was the part when we were really talking about how something that you're obsessed with. So by the way, some people have a negative connotation with this word, okay? So let's get this out of the way. The definition of obsession is a state of being obsessed with someone or something. What does that mean? It's an idea or thought that continually preoccupies or intrudes on a person's mind. So
not an addiction.
Where are you at?
Not talking about an addiction.
If you're somewhere and you happen to see this thing that you are, this obsession of yours, you want to talk about it. Somebody brings it up in a conversation. That's my jam. I'm in immediately. Yes, let's do it. Let's go. That's an obsession. So what we're not talking about is we're not talking about addiction. We're not talking about some unhealthy thing that maybe sometimes people do associate a negative connotation with this word. Okay. We're talking about this thing that preoccupies what we're calling an unquenchable thirst.
Right.
That's what it is.
And I will say for me, velocity banking became an unquenchable thirst, meaning there was not a basketball game on, or there wasn't I'd have earbuds in while washing dishes, listening to someone break down a problem on a whiteboard. Like it became by any means necessary, I want to better understand this, right?
Right. And you get a benefit.
Right. Right.
So there's the win in there.
So I'm curious for any of you, what are some of those things you are obsessed with? What are some of those things you went, you know what? Because maybe it's us golf. I've got buddies of mine who are older now, and they always find them on the golf course somewhere. So maybe it's a sport. But what is it? What is something you would say you obsessed over? I think I can say that about, to be honest, I can say that about you. Like I to this day, I remember when I saw that light and how that light moved and how I was drawn to it and how I wouldn't let the noise around me interfere with my focus on making sure I found out what that light was. So, it's what are those things that you would consider an obsession? Because we want to dig a little bit further into that.
Yeah. It was really trying to understand where we're new year, new me, right? Making goals, but it feels like I want to do that. That's what the goal was. The goal was actually, I just want to achieve that. It's painful. There's something here that I'm not right. It's hard. It's undesirable experience.
It's scary.
The journey is not a vibe. Okay. I don't want to do it, but I want to do it. So can we get there? And some of these things are just like, you can't, whether you want to or not, doesn't matter. Do you want the result or not? Right. And we condition our minds about this, but what if it could be different? And that's our newest obsession, by the way, okay? It has been so enjoyable. We could drop everything and do it right now. We could, that sounds loaded.
We could do it live.
We could do it live. You're damn right. We are so into this that it doesn't matter where we go. We will pit stop. We will do an unskippable side quest to go and just dabble. we're at that point right now. We're at the point where we said we're going to slow down. We've got to curb this.
Too much obsession.
Too much. We're deep in. And then we were like looking at each other across the way, both of us with arms full, going, we have to stop, right? We said we were going to slow down. We can't even fit all this stuff, right? We'll find a way. We'll find a way because we're that obsessed. We're going to find a way. We will make space because we enjoy it that much. It is a privilege to love something, and it's so easy to love. Why? Why is it?
It's at the root of that.
What is at the root, right? And how can we shift what it is that we want to achieve and make that enjoyable? Because if we got to get up every day and do this, we actually can, and we have.
We literally have.
We have. And now our kids are into it too. Kids are doing it with us, right? And we didn't even see that coming. So it was, without saying the thing, we're going to tell you what it is, but without saying the thing, just the idea of being obsessed about something to the point where it is, you'd rather do that than anything else. It is so easy to slide into. It is so easy for it to draw your attention away that it almost feels like fun. It's fun, for sure. Pleasurable. But man, when we get to do it and we get to do it together and we realized that what if achieving our goals could feel the same way? And so what is it about this? What is it? Yeah.
That part. What would it look like if our 2026 goals, if we were just as obsessed about our 2026 goals?
Yeah.
Because it's very difficult to say they aren't as important. It's very difficult to say that. So if they are just important, then why aren't we just as obsessed?
Yeah. A lot of people are in here like, okay, listen, velocity banking was my first, that was the gateway into this. Nathan's in here. He's like, yeah, that was me. We've got quite a few people sharing their obsessions. So I just want to share a few. And then we got some wins too. Put $180K on my mortgage, and now I'm in the process of pulling the equity back out, paying off the mortgage, and putting the HELOC in the first position.
Boom.
That feels good.
And tell me this, it wasn't, they just did it. They got obsessed about it.
Yep.
Right. And it became this, you know what? We've checked enough boxes. So now I feel comfortable taking this leap because I have the proof that it works. It's take that moment, like as powerful as that is, peel back some of those layers and pay attention, take a look in the mirror as to who that person is that accomplished that. And imagine where you could take that same energy and accomplish anything.
Right. Okay. But then think about something that is easy to enjoy.
Right.
Something that feels like escape. Something that feels like a treat. Right. Some people might even describe it as a guilty pleasure. Some people might describe an obsession as a quiet way of building confidence, right? Like it's almost like a bridge to getting to your goals because you're using these types of activities to build up your confidence and relieve pressure and help you regulate and maintain because they feel good. They're easy, right? They're easy to love. That's the part about them. Nathan says he has an obsession with compounding interest.
I'm with you.
We love it.
I'm with you.
We love it. Okay. So here's the thing. We want to tell them what our new obsession is?
So our new obsession, well, I guess a better way of phrasing it would be, many of you may not know, but my wife is a musician. I am not.
Well, and your kids.
I have dreams of being a musician, and my kids, all
Yeah.
of my kids are musicians. So music is very influential in our household. And we have recently fallen in love with vinyl records. And we have built an obsession around building a inventory that didn't exist, meaning we started this at zero.
Well, we had like a couple floating around
Maybe
somewhere.
three, maybe
Yeah.
four,
Yeah.
right? But we didn't have a record player,
Right.
And so we have built this, I'll call it a healthy obsession around vinyl records. And I go back to as we were ending this year and we were identifying, hey, we need to sit down and talk about our goals. It became, wait a minute, what if we could apply this same obsession? So bottom line is yes, vinyl records is that obsession.
Okay. Can I
Story.
go? Okay.
Rabbit hole.
We're the Stidhams and we're into vinyl records. Like we can be in a group at this point and talk about it. Here's the deal. We weren't just talking about our goals for 2026. We were talking about our goals while listening to vinyls with the candles lit. It was a complete glass of wine, complete vibe. We vibe out when we're listening. It is like time travel. It is a time machine. That's what it is. It is a discovery into an experience that you may not have even ever known existed.
And you're touching on something that when you peel back the layers as to why this was so important,
Right.
it is a time, like there are these boxes that are being checked that if we could really hone in on what those boxes are, imagine how this could apply in other places.
Right. Because a lot of it's subconscious. We just know that we love the feeling, right?
Right.
We're just like, yeah, flip that over. Yeah, let's keep going. What else can we find? And sometimes, like, we made this new rule when we go digging in the bins or whatnot, got to pick something off vibes.
Right.
Just like the cover.
No idea what it is, who it is.
Never heard of them.
It's just strictly based off the cover.
I was like 10 for 10, y'all.
Yeah,
I could not lose.
She's pretty tough.
I was like, I picked this on vibes. Kids were coming downstairs. They were like, what is this? I'm like, I know, right? Universe just said we needed to have it. The vinyl gods, they gifted it to us. And that's just kind of where the sense of like being in a flow state, you're just listening. Everything slows down, right? In this world where we've got so much going on, this is our permission to just slow down, to just be present together, to just take it in, right? You can't skip something because you don't like it. Sometimes we think, well, we know this artist because we know this song that they've done. We've heard it all of our lives, but we never heard the whole album. And now we're going, holy cow. How did you, do you want to explain how you were explaining it last night? You said something around what is it exactly for you? And you were talking about sitting in the mind of the artist.
So well, I got to speak to some of my challenges in fears around success in general. What I realized is there's a core root of fear related to why some of my objectives that I wanted to hit, I haven't hit. But when we are sitting in the midst of this 1960, 1970, whatever vinyl record of this artist that we had no idea even existed, and these sounds of what we're experiencing is a level of creativity where someone said, you know what, I am not concerned about what somebody thinks. I am not concerned about what someone feels. This is the I am centered in this energy that I'm looking to give to you. And we are actually in the midst of sitting in someone else's creativity and how they were centered in it. And imagine if that could apply to the rest of what it is I'm trying to accomplish. There's no fear in that. It's fearless.
Right.
It's boundless.
Right. Listening to some of these people, learning about them. One of them was a live album that we were listening to, Millie Jackson. And this is live album. And as we're never heard of her, never heard the album before. This was an experience. She took us on a journey. This was a whole experience with her. The way that she curated this, and she's just being herself, but she didn't have to perform, felt so natural. We were just on this ride with her through this whole album. And it's that part. It was sitting in with somebody else's experience, right? That they've curated for you. And I gotta share you my favorite record. I bought probably 7 copies of this to give to everybody that is starting their vinyl journey. And I'm like, well, this is one you need to have. This is Dee Bridgewater, Just Family. If you don't have it, go get it right now. Oh, can I show that?
We will find out soon.
Look, okay, get it. Just Family. Can you see it now? Let me turn the back here. She's got some clothes on. Okay, this is a family show, but you just edit that part out for the kids.
Hilarious.
I didn't think about that. My bad, y'all. Golly.
Apologize, YouTube guys.
Yeah, geez, oh, Pete. So
Bottom line is, it's an outstanding album.
amazing.
We stumbled across it. This wasn't a, hey, let's go find Dee Bridgewater. This was a, based off vibes, I wonder what this would sound like.
Yeah. I was like, this cover right here, let's give it a listen. We got it. We got to know. Here's the deal though. So we're having this experience. We love it. It's just complete vibing with your hottest homie. That's what your spouse should be, right? You are just having a great time. And anytime that you can curate this experience, like you turn it on and boom, you are transported into this experience. And we get to have it whenever we want to have it. That's the coolest part about it. But then we're like, okay, we better get back to work, right? We better go back to talking about the things that we need to be doing and how we're going to be changing things. And some of the things that maybe we've even been avoiding because it's uncomfortable to talk about.
Well, yeah, right. Because, and again, I would love to hear the perspective in the chat from others, but is that goal conversation one where it is cohesive and you're both on the same page with what your goals are, or are there goals that you feel strongly about? There may be goals that your spouse feel strongly about, and in order to get those goals in a trajectory that you both can work on, you may feel like you're pulling your spouse along, and they may be feeling like they're pulling you along. But in the midst of what we're experiencing around these records, that doesn't exist. So imagine, if you peel back the layers, are we really talking about records? We're not. There's some key components that for you and I, they may be a little bit different for each of us, but there are some key components that we both have connected to. So imagine if whatever those goals are, we do the work to find out what are those components that each of us are connected to so that we could become obsessed about that execution.
And really, I mean, we were talking about this concept, and the one thing that we know is talking about money, talking about finances in general, and how do we not get obsessed about this? Well, there's a lot of reasons why this topic is unsafe. That's why. There's a lot of things. What happens when these factors are missing and an obsession cannot be created, even if it's created for one partner, it cannot be created for the other. And because these masked factors, they're there. You just can't tell that they're there because you don't know what they're called.
Or you haven't peeled the layers back enough to understand what they are specifically.
Right. And so we're obsessed about obsessions right at this point, and peeling back those layers to understand what is it? What are those factors? Because if we understand those factors, then we can retrain how we think about something so that we can be vibing about anything.
Right.
Imagine how it would feel to just be vibing out, talking about finances with your spouse.
So it's less about, hey, I saw this video from Donnell. Hey, spouse, go watch this because you need to get on board. No, it's where is your spouse and what is it? What are those boxes required to be checked to allow your spouse to vibe out at this subject as well? And maybe it has nothing to do with the video for me. Maybe it has to do with the dialogue around what's the goal.
Yeah. So there's some things that are missing and what usually feels unsafe. And so we had made a little list of things that we had collected just in what we've observed. So this really isn't a how to, we're the experts at it. This is, let's just start a conversation.
Talk about it.
We need to talk about it, right? This should be normal. But why do people avoid it? Okay. So oftentimes goals come with evaluation. If you tell somebody that you have a goal, especially your partner, and then you're struggling to get on board with your own goal, then there's some judgment there, or there's a risk of judgment there. And so oftentimes we will set our goal to the level of judgment that we can tolerate.
Right.
And we will engage to the level of judgment or evaluation that we can tolerate. What does this say about me? This question of, what does this goal say about me? What does the fact that I want this say about me? Oftentimes that's not a conversation because we haven't quite yet been seated in our identity. We are still struggling knowing we are capable of more. We just haven't gotten it yet. And if that's you, you're normal. You're not broken. And the fact that when it's asymmetrical. So we have asymmetrical on here, but I know we mentioned it, but when it's asymmetrical, oftentimes one partner can feel lost.
Right.
Or left.
Or
right?
one partner can feel like they have to pull the other partner along in order to accomplish it.
Well, sometimes it can also feel like, I see you having such a great time with this thing. Why can't you have that great of a time with me? Yeah. And I wish I was into this so that I could have a great time with you, because I know that would be great. And sometimes people jump into that thing that they're obsessed, that obsession, trying to be as into it, or that is the reason why is for connection that they get into it, right? And so that happens. But sometimes that person then feels measured, like, are you really into it?
Right.
Or are you just kind of participating, right? Are you really into it? And then that pressure then replaces or reduces curiosity. Hold on, our dog is barking, so I'm going to tell somebody.
But no, you're spot on with that. It's, where is that alignment off and missing, and where is that opportunity to connect around these things? And again, maybe you're in different places. So it's identifying where the opportunity is with each of you and how you can bridge that gap.
Yes. And speaking of bridges, so that we were talking about what, especially because you talk to a lot of couples, and this is a very common thing. We see it everywhere. We've experienced it. We see that it's everywhere. It's the elephant in the room that is really difficult to talk about. And so a lot of people come up with the framework,
Right.
substitutions, having joint accounts so that there isn't any evaluation going on, or there isn't any judgment or monitoring or managing or measuring.
Like, think about it. You might be the spouse who is heavily focused on velocity banking. From my perspective, when I was learning velocity banking, I was learning it in silence, quietly,
Right.
building my confidence around it before I even thought about presenting it to you. Why?
Well, we did peel that back, because that was one of the things. When let's think of other things that we've been obsessed with, right? And what when it was developing, what was the thing that got us? Because if the goal is to develop a new obsession, if the goal is to put your goal, if the goal is to put your goal into this bucket of obsessions,
Right.
How do you do it? What's the factor? What's the driver? What is the shift? What's the key that unlocks that door that you can go through? Now it's an obsession, right? Peeling that back, I think it's different for everybody. So we could get up here and talk about what were those drivers for us. But what we learned, because then we started asking our kids, like, okay, let's talk about an obsession. What is the driver? What are the benefits on the other side? What was the thing that pulled you in? What was the draw? It was different for everybody. So if you're having this conversation with your spouse, I feel like this is a fascinating conversation to have, just about obsession in general.
Right.
Why can't we become obsessed with, or why isn't it normalized for people to become obsessed with health? Not how they look, but how healthy they are, right? Healthy marriage, happy marriage,
Healthy family.
whole family. Yeah, whole and healed. And of course, finance, right? Generational wealth. There's a lot of things that we have as a goal, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we enjoy the process of achieving that goal. And that's what we're trying to change. We're trying to say, what if you could be vibing, completely vibing out and achieving your goals at the same time? Have we just crossed that off or never put that on as a possible experience for this objective.
And this framing for me has been somewhat eye-opening because, you know, if you would ask me what am I obsessed over, there's a list of things. There's a lot of things I can tell you that I've been obsessed over. Um, and as impactful as our goals are, generational wealth, breaking cycles, WTF moments, like those are pretty big, pretty major. Why wouldn't it be an obsession?
Well, to be fair though, this is an obsession for us.
But I'm saying,
It's a
but
healthy obsession.
that's the part. Like what? Like this should not be a question. But I don't know that we can honestly say that about everything. About those goals that we have listed, and that's the reason why we end up setting goals for 2026 is because 9 times out of 10, the ones from 2025 weren't fully accomplished.
We are obsessed with the concept of retiring early, though, for sure. We're obsessed with the concept of not paying for 2 houses and only getting one. Okay, we're obsessed with paying off your house early and turning your home into a bank. Here's how I know this, because I was thinking about this earlier, actually. So I'm glad that you brought this up. This is probably why we don't get invited to a lot of parties.
Because what they're going to be talking about. Here they come. Here they
Oh,
come with
hey,
this
this
financial
is my
freedom.
friend so and so and his spouse, such and such. And we get into the what do you guys do? What do you guys do? And before you know it, Donnell's in a corner somewhere, and all you can hear is him talking about leverage, right? And this way, this is how you can make your dollar multiple times with the same multiple ways. And he's over there, and you can just hear these sound bites. And sometimes it's like, is that person even into this?
5 kill.
But if they mentioned anything about it, right? One little nugget, he's like, "Oh, you into this? Psh, say less.
And
We're
true,
in."
I'm like a vampire. I have to be invited in. Like,
You're not just pressing it on people.
right, I'm not gonna dump this on you, but you invite me in.
Man, and passionately. And in his mind, he is talking about a band and a record and a tour that they did and whatever the history is on this record. It could be that kind of conversation, but it's just about the topics that we talk about. And some people might say nerding out, right? Like they might use those types of phrases for it. But I will say that it's probably not a vibe at a party. Records, talking about music, maybe, especially people are into it. But we don't know a lot. We personally don't know a lot of people like in our circle or just friends, family, whatever, that are really into it to where they just want to, let's go deeper. Like, oh yeah, let's talk about it. Let's put on some records and then talk about it.
Right. And so, like to that point around, you've got to. If you are one of those who experience hey, I'm on this side of the bridge. These are the goals. These are objectives, and my spouse is on the other side. How do we close that gap?
Right.
What are the steps required to close that gap?
Yeah, because it sounds good, right?
Throwing one of my videos across that gap, expecting your spouse to catch it and do something with it, may not be the answer.
I was that spouse. Yeah, I was that spouse, and I loved that you were trying to pull me into. I appreciated that you would even consider that I would want to watch those videos. But I will tell you, somebody in the chat was saying, here it is. My wife is on board by allowing me to lead. She is more fearful while I operate in faith. The Bible says God gives us wisdom to get wealth. And this was us.
Right.
I was like, I love this for us. I'm going to have faith in you and that this is what we need. So you lead. That totally me. Like don't wait for me. Keep going. Don't wait for me. And I'll do something else. I got my lanes. But I didn't realize though how powerful it was, how lonely it was though for you, right? How heavy it was for you. That was another thing that we talked about when we were peeling back like the initial days of your developing obsession with velocity banking, like way back in the day, right? How some of those things you actually didn't share with me at the time. And we were talking about how there wasn't space
right
for you to share that experience.
It could even be placed in the bucket of fearful as well, right? My own fears around being criticized or being not being understood or being seen as I'm on some fantasy journey. Like, what are you doing? Like, there was some healthy fear around that as well. Because I think that fearful statement that I can remember the name, but the gentleman's spouse was, it's peeling back the layers on what is at the some of the root of that fearful piece, and how do we bridge some of that gap? And again, it may have nothing to do with velocity banking, but you can't tell me her goal isn't um, reducing debt or becoming debt free or having more leverage. Or I would have to believe that they are both on the same page with that. It's just that velocity banking, there may be this fearful component. So how do we peel back the layer and bridge some of that gap so this looks a little bit different?
And how would it feel if instead of you knowing that she was trusting, that all the weight was with you and that she was fearful, that she had confidence, that it became fun to talk about? This is a new strategy. I can't wait to get through this phase so that we can hit this phase. Like, no different than what you were saying in terms of repositioning your HELOC into first position.
Right.
This is huge for her to understand, like, what's at risk here? What is it been achieved here, right? How this works, then it becomes a completely different conversation because now you're gamifying it in a sense. But we were really thinking through, like, what did this look like for us? What are the things that we have been individually obsessed with over time, whether we still are or not?
Right.
Plants was one of those ones for me, and it's because there is a thing there that I just would say it's a thing, right? I would have other words to describe, like what my experience is, what I really enjoy about my journey with plants. Growth, it's on brand for me, so it's not new for anybody who usually tunes in for us with us. But the idea of being very aware, hyper aware of what the factors are, because this is how we leave. This becomes a part of our legacy. This becomes a part of how we guide and lead the next generation. This becomes, instead of complaining about what we have to change or what we have to deal with, this helps to reframe, reshape how we think about things, because we get to make it an obsession. We get to make it fun. This was totally different for us. This was powerful for us. And if you would have said to me a week or two ago, what would it feel like to share an obsession and a new one, develop a new one with your spouse, with your husband? I would have been like, yeah, but we don't have the time.
Right.
We don't have the time for something new. We made the time. We don't have the space for hundreds and hundreds of records. We don't have the space. We made the space. But we also said that about becoming entrepreneurs, right? We also said that about quitting corporate jobs or quitting, the industries that we were in to just focus full on with retiring early, and we made it happen. Then we decided to do the same thing in regards to helping other people do the same thing. So we made the time. We made it happen, and we made it.
Which means it's possible.
Which means it's possible. We can make it fun.
And so, how can we continue to do that through these 2026 goals? Is what it boils down to.
Yeah. We've been doing some different routines and changes in our schedules, and that's one thing that is still a new change. It's 2026 change for us, but what I do appreciate is that we have both exercised the choice and the decision to make it fun. There's a reason why we weren't doing it before, and it's because it was not fun, right? It was because it was a drain. It wasn't something that was replenishing us. It wasn't something that was recharging us. And I feel like now that we can do this, and so now we can make things more enjoyable. Now we're looking forward to it. And I hope that this conversation is helpful if you have a topic with your spouse that is rigid, that is rough, and abrasive, maybe. It is uncomfortable. It is hard. And if there is just one nugget that you could take away from this, if this spoke to you, if this is something where you're going, I never considered, what if it could be fun? Or you're thinking to yourself, well, not my spouse, right? What if you just put it on the table?
And it's framed around, we all have our own individualized obsessions. Let's talk about them. Why are they there? What is it about that obsession that says, you know what, I don't care what's happening, I am willing to. And then try to take those roots, those pieces, those inputs, and try to apply them in a common area.
Well, speaking of common areas, oftentimes we are sharing common areas, we are sharing common goals, but then we're on the opposite sides, which is why we're on opposite sides of the studio today, because this is literally how we're showing up. We may be thinking that we're sitting next to each other. We may be thinking that we're not that far away from each other, but mentally, emotionally, we are a great distance apart. And being able to measure that distance, that gap, and understanding how far is this gap between us, that takes some courage. That takes some courage. And what we were thinking about is a bridge. So if the goal, you were saying earlier, the goal is not to pull your partner over to your side. The goal is to build this bridge from that's strong enough for both of you to stand on, to walk back and forth, right? No one's having to take a risk to jump. No one's having to abandon their side of things. It feels a lot safer even having that conversation when it feels like there's a bridge strong enough, or maybe the first obsession needs to be with building the bridge, right? This has just been a really powerful conversation for us in our home, and not just for us. We've had this conversation with our kids in their goals and having them contribute to, like, what is it on the other side of this for you? Let's talk about it, and let's talk about what your goals are and how can we turn this into a healthy obsession in this way where it just, you gravitate towards this thing because you enjoy it, right? How can we make this a vibe? How can you vibe out with your friends, your group, your family? And how can we make it something that if we had to drop everything right now and just do that thing, we would want to. We wouldn't have to, right? And that's the goal. So we asked as we were talking through this, and we were talking through some of the couples that stick out in our mind that you've met with, and how we can really identify with where they were,
Right.
Where they are because of where we were.
Right.
And not to say that we don't still have some of those struggles today, because it's a journey, right? It's not a destination, it's a journey.
So it goes back to the 2026 goals. They wouldn't be goals if we had already accomplished them.
Yeah, facts. Yeah. But when we were thinking about those couples and we were thinking, well, what's the goal? We have all of these things that are taking up our time and our attention, and we have whatever justifications for them, right? Doesn't matter. No judgment. But what's the goal? And if a lot of the times we aren't achieving those by the end of the year, you're saying this earlier, like, how many times have we written things down, and how many people actually have been able to check these things off? But they probably could check off new obsessions or obsessions that they carried throughout and were consistent with through that year, right?
That's it.
Yeah. So we just thought this was interesting as we started peeling this back. We felt like this was a huge key that unlocked something. We really have been enjoying unpacking. We're pretty fascinated with what's been coming out and the conversations that have been coming out of that. And what we're really looking forward to is seeing how this type of concept, is this landing for you? Does this concept, is it making you think? And how will you use it? So that's what we want to know. We just want to start this conversation, and we really wanted to just make this normal. These conversations should be normalized, and so we plan on having more of them, and we hope that you will be a part of them. It's got to be that way.
And the key is we don't have all the answers, but I think you can agree Obsession is real. Obsession is possible. And imagine if you applied whatever those roots are as to why it's an obsession for you. Imagine if you applied that to the areas of opportunities in your marriage, in your home, in your life, as it relates to your goals. And you're right. I think this is uh, be, we're looking for this to become more of a foundation of how we provide information to you going forward. So, love some feedback around it.
He says, I shared with my wife that my desire was to leave her with zero debt and increase generational wealth. My issue is that I don't know how to get my own grown daughters on board. And we have some parents in the chat who have been getting their kids on board. So that's, I mean, the community is a great place to source for what did that conversation look like for you. We also have grown kids, so we understand how hard these conversations can be. That's the point.
That's it.
That's the point. What is the resistance around it? You can unpack that and find out what's missing and how can we reshape this? How can we take out the things that are causing the resistance? How can we input the things that or shine light on where they are in regards to this particular topic? Because I bet they have obsessions.
I bet they do. I bet there are areas of their life where it doesn't matter whether it's rain, sleet, or snow, doesn't matter what's on, doesn't matter the day of the week, they're there. How can you leverage those pieces to make sure that this is a part of that process too?
And make it fun. You're vibing out as a family with zero debt and generational wealth. Like, we're all doing it. We're doing it. 2026, we're all doing it. Tim, thank you so much for sharing this. It's an awesome conversation. You guys truly blessed for this. We hope to share it with everybody. Like, let's get obsessed with our goals. Let's do it. We want to know though, we're experts on obsession. This isn't we got some hypnotherapy or something. It's nothing like that. It's just, we got to start having these types of conversations. We have to start making these changes. We have been doing and trying and attempting the same thing, the same ways year after year. We've been saying this is what we want, but we really want it, right? We really want to do it and achieve it, but it's that journey. And if we can find ways, it's not even discovering. We're doing this already. We already have proof that we can get obsessed about stuff. So,
and I don't think
it's not new.
This word yet. And so I just want to make sure I sprinkle this in here. And what if a part of the reason why it's not enjoyable, it's not fun, is because it doesn't feel safe?
Yeah, that part.
So how do we then shift that feeling from not being safe to being more enjoyable? And so if the kids I'm trying to get my kids on board, right? What if at the root of that getting on board is there's a safeness challenge? Let's understand what that safeness challenge is. Peel the layers back around that so that we can make this more enjoyable.
Right. And maybe you got to figure out what safeness means. There's a lot of people who don't even know what that means. And you could be a very successful family and still not know what that means. Okay. So it's not that you're...
So I'm not saying Jason's at the door with a knife.
Right.
It's at the core. What is at that root? And that takes some dialogue. That takes some sitting down and having some of that discussion. It's not, I'm going to throw this video, watch it. And it's more of a, let's understand what's at the root of these and let's come together to identify where are the opportunities where we can make this enjoyable for you and accomplish our goals at the same time.
Yeah, but you see what happens though when a spouse is just about to get on board, they end up in, one of them has booked a call, right? Booked a consultation, and then the other spouse is like,
those are some of my favorite calls. Like she's on the Zoom, but she's off screen enough to where you can just see an arm, right? It's just an arm.
Right. Yeah. Like, I am here, I'm present. I said I was going to be present. And really, I just want to hear what this person is saying, because honestly, we have a deal. If this is some bull, quit sending me videos. Right. Okay. This is the last day. Today's the day. We're going to learn today. And so that's what that spouse is there, really more of an evaluation of, are you going to be able to continue this or talk to me about it ever again? Or are we just going to be fighting after we get off this call? And Donnell's like, welcome.
And what I end up focusing my attention on is on that shoulder. Let's peel back some of the layers. Let's understand, because I get it. Like, there are moments where I am that spouse. There are moments where you are that spouse, right? So,
Yeah. Low Dog's in here. Hey.
so
Yeah, it's great to see you. Says, what stinks is when you try to get your adult children and cannot due to being too skinny, the policy will not start. And there are challenges for sure. But the wonderful thing about what we do here is we don't talk about just one strategy,
Right.
because it's not a one size fits all. And that's why we have to understand what are the variables that we're all working with, like my health history. That was a huge thing. And we've talked about that in previous live streams, just where my battle. And so everybody's got something. Everybody's got different variables. And so understanding where your leverage is, how to work smarter, not harder, those concepts, getting more results for less time, all of that is been a high priority for us. And we haven't done it just one way. We've done it with what we had along the way. We have helped people do it with different orientation of those tools based on what they had available to them at the time. And then we've helped them gain access to tools they didn't have access to before. So could definitely be a part of a strategy, but wouldn't imagine what it would feel like to just gamify it, to just have fun with it, to just get on board and get so obsessed that you're just, this is natural conversations. And when you are really enjoying some information about something that you're obsessed with and you try to share it with somebody who's not, right? And you're just like, dang it, I wish I could talk to somebody who understands how huge this is right now. And being able to do that with your partner, right? With your hottest homie. That's it. Yeah. That's the person, your people, your family. That's being able to do that with anything, any topic is going to transform marriages. It's going to transform families. And when we say, if you didn't come from a wealthy family can come from you. Obsessed. I'm obsessed with it. And that is a passion for us, is to make that true for as many families as possible. And we know that it is not a math equation. It is not about money. That's not how it happens.
It's not about velocity banking or life insurance policy. These are just tools.
Right. It's about how you're thinking about going about it. And we've had uphill battles about this, and we have more to come, but we're committed to it. And what we were thinking about was sometimes this is hard. This is really hard to break cycles, to be the first in your family. You might feel like you're late, but maybe you're just first. And instead of just being consumed and immersed in how hard it is, what if we can change the narrative of the journey? What if we could just vibe out? What if we could hit a flow state about these very difficult things, and we can change the relationship that we have? We can build that bridge. We understand how to do that. We're building that bridge while we're listening to music. We're singing while we're building the bridge. We are having a great time. We can't wait to get up and get back to building the bridge. We have changed how we feel about these things. And as a result, we start attracting more people. More people are changing how they feel about them.
And if you're hearing some small voice in the back of your head going, man, I wonder, I don't think, maybe it's not possible, it goes back to you have obsessions. There's reasons why they're obsessions. What if you could apply those exact reasons to this opportunity as well?
That's right. So we don't want to keep you guys on here for very long. We appreciate everybody who's tuned in or watched. I'm going to tell you right now what we're about to go do.
I love how you flipped it around.
It's safe. This is what we're going to go do. We're going to go get some dinner, and then we're going to vibe out and finish talking about how we can change our relationship with some of these other goals that we have and other requirements in order to achieve those goals that we've been struggling with. How can we make this fun? How can we become obsessed and enjoy it together? Hope you took something from this. I hope this is a seed planted in your household, and we would love to hear how this what happened past this point. Did you end up in a conversation about it? Is this something that a key that you've been waiting? Does this ring through for you? If not, I guess it's just for us. Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, same. But we really do wish the best for you. We hope everyone had a happy new year. We wish the best for you in this year. Donnell's very excited about what this year means. He's got this whole theory around this year, and I'm here for it. So we hope that you all have the same enthusiasm and like a fresh start to this year. We can't wait to see the wins that are coming through. We already see them coming through with the people that we're currently working with. So we already know this is a big year for some people, and we hope that it's a huge year for you. You ready to go? You have anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay.
You did it.
All right. So we will be continuing or lacing through these types of conversations. And so if you want to hear more about that, let us know. If it's not a vibe, hey, let us know that too. Yeah, we're open to the feedback for sure. But we appreciate all of you. Time is the most valuable asset that we have. And so I think that's really the root of all of this. What are we spending our time? How are we spending our time? Because it really is the most valuable asset that we have. And we're glad that you spent your time here with us. Ready?
Let's do it.
All right. We like to end with, if you didn't come from a wealthy family,
You can make sure a wealthy family comes from you.
so stay tuned,
Stay protected.
stay focused.
Stay connected.
I'm Angelique,
And I'm Donnell.
and our goal is to help you.
Get self-directed.
And to do that, we have a ton of free resources. And by the way, thank you so much for those who have returned and haven't been here for a while. Mammy Mania, we see you. Thank you so much. We will, if you have any questions about this too, feel free to reach out. We are happy to continue this conversation, or maybe we need to do a Zoom, like a Saturday session or something. We are open to that for sure. Hope you all have a great rest of your week. We will see you here next weekend.
Hey, before you go, we want to remind you that becoming fully self-directed means gaining complete control over your wealth, time, and freedom. It's not just an idea. It's a framework, a mindset, and the power to make informed decisions to secure your future. Being here means you're taking those steps, and we want to thank you for allowing us to guide you. We believe that we grow farther and faster when we grow together. So tune in next time and tell a friend to tell a friend. We've helped thousands of people just like you start their journey to financial freedom. And if they can do it, you can too. And if you're ready to learn more, we got you. Get a head start by grabbing these 2 free books. But how do they get them, Donnell?
Head over to my website where you'll have access to a few things. A ton of free resources, case studies, and over 100 5-star reviews from people just like you. And in 15 minutes, we can explore what's possible for you. So don't wait.
Invest in what you want, when you want.
But first, let us help you
Get self-directed.